of y'all want to pay more for shipping than you do for the product. So
here's Johnny. Thank you, Ed. Hello, hey, hi there, social media family. Being up any subscribers and our visitors alike. Yes, being up any subscribers of and our visitors alike too. Excuse pardon for being butchering the English language and American dialect. And so far as any persons who could possibly pay a visit to that being of my own YouTube social media channel and our chat room or comment section, being of which you could possibly become affiliated or associated with and are representing. And that's saying that I thought and sense of word. And if there are any newbies as in hold it thought. Newcomers to it, then please feel free to press the like button at some such given moment in time whenever you feel that being of a need to, and better yet, press that being of what would be called the subscribe button, being that because that is the only way that my person can or could possibly, that is many persons who would think to that is, and that could from there help me to reach that 4,000 subscribers mark, whereas from there I can get paid finally for any social media broadcasts or videos, being of which I myself could personally produce for you all. Although, or regardless of how any social media content that is of a religious or spiritual nature, I will produce for free, regardless. And whereas I am way below my own 4,000 subscribers, I mean, I have not, and for the longest, haven't reached the 1,000 mark when it comes to subscribers. That would be 1/4 of the required subscribers, being those persons I would have needed to acquire before I can finally start producing any social media content or broadcast videos, although I will do any ones of a religious spiritual nature for free. And whereas I could get paid for some of such other kind sort of type, a more secular one. Yeah. And so far all I've been doing is really, quite generous. Is that what I'm saying? I feel when I try to get out of line, regardless of any disruptions or interruptions, disturbances in the background, well, mainly mostly coming from certain neighbors, if you know what I mean, of obnoxious criminal riffraff characters like the drug pusher and a dope dealer down the hall from a few doors down the hall from me on the same floor level in the building here in a really bad neighborhood, who had threatened my life a few times. But anyway, getting back to some such other before I were to lose my train of thought, so to speak, again, some same sense of the word, for what I had mentioned before the last, yeah. Then it costs unless I get my 4,000 subscribers, then I cannot get paid. And although I would be quite generous at times to, well, quite naturally, I will always broadcast any social media content of videos dealing with that of a religious spiritual nature. But then I've been quite generous, no less than to have. I've been even more generous when I'm broadcasting that social media content that is secular, because I don't have to do that, especially if I'm going unappreciated. If I mean to say, regardless of any services in any regard, neighbors from damn hell, whoever and whatever for that matter. Then I have yet to take much better care of my general physical health once again, be somebody has sabotaged it or not. Somebody much more than something, if you know what I mean. Read between the last 3 minutes. Other than that, I will hope that you all are, hold that thought, are doing much better than what I am doing as of the present given moment time. Doing and feeling for that matter. That's what I mean to say, all the same, because I have been really feeling up on the weather lately, and slowly but surely, I like to think that, my general well-being in any regard is coming back up to pretty much so up to par, regardless of whatever or whoever could have caused me to feel up under the weather. Was this enough that I'm greatly disappointed in myself, as sometimes we can become or be our own worst or worstest enemy, and thus is the social media content of the present video broadcast, as it is regarding making reference to my own gambling addiction, being of which is a living damn hell in its own right, to be compared on to that being of any other excuse me, detrimental or devastating addictions, or negative vices of habitual practices. I don't know what's with these gambling machines. It's like they or some such have a mind of their own. They know the different persons, well, so to speak. Well, hopefully not, unless AI has gone really advanced. It's like they know who's playing at some given moment in time for whatever gambling machines, wherever in the world. There's gambling machines in the store, or gambling apparatus or equipment for riverboat casinos, or for little actual more familiar gambling joints, business establishments, because it's like I myself personally be on a losing streak, you know, more than likely, and or likewise more often than not, And if I do win anything, it would just be that I would be getting some of my money back, was I would not win any of the house's money. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what in the world is going on? Was I could practically or possibly ask question of, am I the most unluckiest gambler in the world? Not only in the continental USA, but in the whole wide world, the World Wide Web, etc. I get to thinking along that line of thought, and that same word at times, where I get to think it would be bad enough. Is that what I mean to say? If I was just in the top 10, the world's most unluckiest gamblers, no, then I may as well be the number one unluckiest gambler, you know, or even so to become or be one of the top 100 most unluckiest gamblers in the world, or one of the top 1,000 most unluckiest gamblers in the world, or one of the top 1 million most unluckiest gamblers in the world, Then to think you could be a worse, more unlucky or most unlucky gambler than that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there are like millions and millions of persons in the world, like, right? Whereas I would like to think that, you know, if I am to sink to to a level of one of the most unluckiest gamblers, then hopefully, you know, it would not even so much be a case or situation whereas I would be in the top 1 millionth most unluckiest gamblers in the world. And so therefore, how much less I would like to think it would not be a case of situation whereas I would be, you know, of the top 1,000 most unluckiest gamblers in the world, or the top, or let alone one of the top 100 most unluckiest gambler, or one of the top 10 most unluckiest gamblers in the world. But, you know, I mean, I get to thinking, was I born up on the bad star? You know, it's like these gambling machines. Talk about a Twilight Zone episode. But certain gamblers, you know, if you got the favorite ones, you know, oh, the gambling machines have an identity. I don't know. I said, talk about Twilight Zone. I think it's since when a certain gambler sits in front of them, you know, they say, "Oh, time to make our bank again," or like they have taken on the personality of their owners who have rigged them to suck the wallets and purses dry of certain gamblers. They figure that you could possibly have more bank than other gamblers. Say, time to make the donuts. Time to make my money today or tonight off this one gambler. You know, I'm like, what the? Well, I can't believe it, you know. And I was explaining that to a brother, another male, just today or tonight, and he was saying, "Well, if you're losing that much, then something or somebody is trying to tell you that you need to get that up." Then, you know, if those gambling machines, they can sense your presence, and they're like, "Time to make the donut. Time to get our money off of this person. Time to get our money." I'm like, what the? And there are certain gambling games that I dare not play anytime too soon up again compared to other ones because I risk the chance of losing my money that much sooner. You know, though the payoffs may be greater, but when see certain gambling games that fix they're designed like whereas the payoff is greater, but you have to pay bigger money. See, and you have less chances to win. I'm like, what the? You know what I'm saying? I think you all get the general idea of what I'm trying to say for that last mention. Now, I have lost quite a bit again when it comes to my own personal monetary finances of currency. And whereas I'm not going to go into the specific details of how much I lost, that's really of nobody else's business, you know. But trust me, for one who is on an annual limited or fixed income of a nature, then I should not even be gambling at all, any kind of money, you know. Not even a couple few bucks. I mean, I'm gonna put it like this here. For a person like me that don't have money that flows like water, you know, if I were to gamble any money, you know, was if anything, I should be penny pinching and so tight about money. I figured that, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, that if I ever were to contemplate gambling or engaging in a gambling addiction or gambling disease, as it could be called as well, then I should gamble at least a couple of few dollars, you know, maybe something like, you know, once a week, you know, up to check day. We get that once a month Kool-Aid or crazy check, as they say, you know. So once a week that'll come out to, a little more than $10, you know, a few times a week. Let me see. Yeah, cause let me see. 3 times 4 weeks is $12, like right at the max. If I were to gamble more than a couple bucks a week, as in a few dollars a week, Okay, if not just gamble a couple few bucks a month, But here it is. I'm spending way beyond my means to waste money for my own personal living damn hell of a gambling addiction. Like I said, I'm not going to go into the specific I'm not going to go into the specific detail unless I want to risk acquiring more stalkers. And you'll be surprised. There was one gambler sitting next to me. He's supposed to be, moonlighting as a store clerk in this one particular store I gamble at. So how much more I could lose money at the riverboat and a much more familiar gambling place. So at one time, now he's going to sit by me, like next to my wallet, and whereas he was like wishing that I become so focused on my gambling that I would not, be tuned in to what himself is to do so far as the slide, fast hand kleptomaniac pickpocket action. Going into my inner jacket, while I'm like trying to, like I'm having to make sure I close and zip it back up. I'm like, man, what is you doing, man? Nothing. I was just, I'm like, yeah, right. I said, so I would have to leave prematurely because I don't want anybody sitting so close to me. And if there are other patrons that facility of a business having, they're at the other gambling machine. There's no other gambling machine available to sit at. Cause I'm saying, I ain't trying to lose even more money. What you tell me, make like a kleptomaniac or something. You be thinking about some of these neighbors from down here as I dare not leave any loose money around if it's some or such that could be considered as, you know, quite a bit, unless I want to come up short. Okay, you between lines feeling black. Yeah, it's like these machines, these gambling machines, they pick out certain persons. They say, oh, and they get to discussing matters among themselves. One of our favorite, most unluckiest, not just more unlucky, but most unluckiest gambler is in our presence once again. Okay, let's give him or her the business, depending on whichever one's gender. And here it is, it happened again. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell, God dog it? Oh, you know what I'm saying, Lord, forgive me. Permit me not to forgive me if I have used your name in vain. Yeah, I lost. Man, I lost it all again. I lost all my money. For the present give more time. You know, imagine what little stash of cash I have in, what is it? At least one or two, a couple few banks. And they be like one of this some rather unusual activities on that is in your that is so far matter concerning your bank account. So, what are you using this money for? I mean, what you know what I'm saying? Are you some kind of a drunk or was you an addict or something? And then they start charging, and some start giving them time for extra trips there, or sometimes I be suspecting that some of these bank tellers be taking something off the top, and so like that. I ain't even so much as well to do, let alone a rich person. I should be gambling in the first place. Like I said, I should be gambling like a couple few dollars every week and leave it at that, and pick the days. Like I could like say I'm going to either gamble for a time frame period like a couple few dollars a week, like say. That is literally a couple few dollars, not a couple of few dollars per day, but $1 per day for a couple or a few days in a week, like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday or Sunday. And then just leave it at that. Say if I don't win some off this dollar today, then it's time to just get out and wait for the next day following tomorrow, then the day after tomorrow from this day, you know. But no, what did I go and do? I go in there and I spend my own personal money, monetary financial currency, like I'm saying, like for some that would, well, hopefully I don't ever contemplate spending so much as rent money or even so utility money or phone money, especially as I would be needing, a much better phone than just a free government issue phone, whereas the free government issue phone will serve as backup for the primary phone being a much more recognized phone for one of these business companies, other phone company that you could, transact business with to get a better phone, so that you could have a phone that much more for emergency reason or purposes, in case you may have your life threatened by a neighbor from down hell, drug pushing, a dope dealer, or one of these criminal riffraff elsewhere, and so forth. Yeah. So I'm like, what in the world, Mr. So and so, Mr. So and so? Do you know that you've been in here for this is not your usual trafficking through the bank atmosphere for these primitive property. You've been here and like your money is somehow going rather faster. You know, you're making more withdrawals than deposits than ever before. Is there something wrong? If you keep at this rate, before you know it, your money may be next time you come in. Like what is today is like right, like a week from now. If you keep going at it like this, you know, your money may be gone within a week's time. It don't matter. Be I were to have from hundreds to thousands of dollars in bank accounts. I know I don't have any millions. Not even thousands. At least I don't think I have any thousands. Now I know I don't have any millions. Not even thousands. But Mr. So and so, your money is going at a much faster rate of speed as you were drawing it. I mean, if you keep going at this rate, you won't have any money. After a while, like I would say, from what I have noticed, I'm just trying to tell you something as a means of warning you, because if you keep taking out money out your bank accounts like this here, you know, I would say it should be no more than about a week before all your money is gone. What? Y'all not taking something off the top? No, we have that's one would say we have the receipts direct. We have in our personal file the electronic system, the money you have been withdrawing. You know, much more than what would be your much more familiar usual with withdrawal activity. Yeah, I have money in a couple few banks, at least a couple few. Yeah. I wouldn't say that it would be really to be considered as being of so much money, but let's just say like if I were to come in default of a rent payment, I could go to the bank and get some sort of rent money at least once from what what bank account money I would have, at least once to make due for any past what you would call it so far as a what you call well, how do they put that discrepancy in rent payments, or disagreement between landlord and tenant, and not be able to go to a bank a few times to get rent money if I come in default of rent payments, God forbid. Don't ask me what my rent, because that's my own personal business now. So anyway, I just thought that to share that with you all, And whereas whenever I lose money, it's like practically my pocket, like as if I lost a loved one or a friend of my family. I mean, at times I'd be literally actually crying over the loss of money. And whereas your average person who still possess half one's marbles, whatever race or walk of life, faction of society, or lifestyle preference, being either both the two sexual genders, males and females alike, old and young alike, will get to wondering whether or not I were to have lost a relative, a loved one, as that being, or a friend of my family, until if they were to find out that I lost money. So, wow, look at that. Look at that guy or fella crying like that within the atmosphere for a place of business, for his premises property, or for the atmosphere of a mass transit or a public transportation system, for a bus or a train route. Wow, he must have just most recently lost his mom or grandma, or some other loved one. But we see him, we see as and witness him crying like that all the time on a regular basis. How many loved ones is he losing? Like every week or something. Wow, he must have a family that has so many terminal illnesses. I mean, we witness him every week. Every week, either every day or every other day, crying like he lost a loved one. What's going on? This real waterworks about to come. Real tears. Never do it again. Overnight ain't tied too soon. Look, get the gamble again. I lost so much. See, I told you the waterworks was coming. I lost so much. What a bad reflection on my own family, my household members, destroying their legacy. Oh, you poor man. Who was she? Your mom or your grandma? Or who was he? Your dad or your grandpa? No, I lost so much money at the gambling machine. What? Hey, why you doing all that crying? What the? But when you think about it, it would affect. It would have detrimental, devastating effects on a family household, because it takes food off the table, being the lifeblood for a family. Cause you could probably have to feed your family of a wife and children, but you gambled the money away, and especially if you gambling rent money, and now you all are homeless, ain't got nothing to eat, can't buy some better clothing for the elements, just in case you have to make it to a rescue mission shelter. Don't have transportation. You have to rely on social service to get you to a shelter. Oh no, I lost again. Told you those were real tears. Did I tell y'all used the waterworks were coming? Uh, oh no. Oh my God. How can you let this happen to me? Like, God didn't let that happen to you. It was the devil that done that to you because you listened to the devil when God was telling you not to gamble. You know what I mean? Oh, Lord. The waterworks about to come again. I was born on the wrong side of the tracks. Ba, 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 ba. Wow. You really like the late President JFK. You crying like that. Because I thought I heard you mention something about JFK. Oh, I miss him. But then I said, I said, I lost my money. When I speak in American, I love my money. What are you drunk or high? What made you think I said Jack for money? Jack by the machine gun. Jack for kid. Jack for kid. For my kid. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, you really like John F. Kennedy, John Kennedy, huh? Yeah, I liked him, but I was talking about him. But you said JFK. No, the gambling machines, they jack for kid. They jack me for my kid, for my kitty of money. Somebody loan me a buck or two, a couple of you. I hope I can find a loan shark that won't be charging interest on the dollar, very little interest on the dollar. Just expect me to pay what I would have given him than to charge any interest. That'd be better. You poor man. You must have lost your mom or your grandma. Anyway, though, let me close out, you all. Everybody saying. Oh. For the love of God. You hear? For the love of God, y'all. Keep that money in your pocket. Your wallets and purse. It ain't worth the risk of losing. You hear? Then I'll share with y'all the gospel message shortly. You know, as the voice myself said. If it don't come naturally, if I don't feel inspired, just say something. I'm crying over present money I lost and past money I lost. That has gotten so emotional, you all. Those are real tears. See? That ain't no joke, man. For one who's on an annual fixed limited income, I should be gambling like I be gambling. Anyway, dog, on this last note of interest, I would like to say, if you haven't gotten Christ as your own personal Lord and Savior, I would hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in your veins. By recognizing and realizing what he himself had done and did upon the cross of Calvary on his Golgotha, something at the hands of some Roman soldiers up under orders of their superiors, religious, political, militaristic, and otherwise. But then, nevertheless, when he went to that cross of Calvary, become the perfect sacrifice, the only sacrifice for you as well as for me. Don't steal my trademark gesture, of a physical nature. I'm gonna have to copyright it sometime unless somebody were to plagiarize it. And whereas if any of us being of whatever races and whatever walks of life, fashion of society, lifestyle preferences, being the old, young alike of both two sexual genders, males and females represent not only the human species, but the global international community in this post 911 era of a new millennium of this apocalyptic day and age, and whereas the doomsday clock is now at a couple few minutes to midnight compared on our former previous prior to then was the quarter midnight for these biblically prophetic time being of the military arsenals, weapons of mass destruction, whereas the stress level is even worse than now. Whereas anybody were to profess faith in our Lord and Savior Christ and decide to live, we be blessed in one with God another. First and foremost for the salvation, which is the only thing that would the only means by which we become citizens of the kingdom of heaven. The second our way we be blessed down here. Otherwise, your final destination would be liquefied down hell. You make that transition without the only fire insurance against it. You all take care. We out. Peace.